Hi, this is Christina. I am part of the Art of Releasing for a Better Life. Let me remind you what this program is again. It's a process of releasing the problems or the issues or even the great things that are happening in your life and letting them go to God, whatever your higher power is, God, the universe. You imagine letting them go, and then you imagine getting answers back. And I know that seems far-fetched, but it does work. It's it's really no different than prayer. It's about the same, praying and looking for messages back from God. The only difference is this program is geared about really kind of finding out about yourself while you're doing it and opening up to possibilities maybe you didn't know existed through this process. And it's an amazing program. It's an amazing process. I can tell you, I've been doing this for, I would say, 5 or 6 months now, and the changes in me and the things that has helped me with are phenomenal. And what you see, the videos that I post are actually almost like journals. They are journals. It's a way of me showing you what I get from this, because this is something I discovered after a couple months and have decided to post and share with people about what it's doing for me and the changes I see. So I welcome anybody to comment on this, ask me questions, post their own videos, share them with us on how this is changing you. It really is a phenomenal program. So what I want to talk about today is, I've talked about in the past that I have an anxiety issue. I have a problem with, and it actually holds me down. It has kept me from progressing through my life in so many ways. And this program has definitely helped with anxiety. Now, if any of you do have anxiety, mine's almost a control issue anxiety. It's a feeling that I can't get things done the way I want to get them done. Things aren't happening the way I want them to. And I get very nervous and anxious. If I've made a mistake, I feel like it shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't be making mistakes. And I really take that out on myself. So these are a lot of the anxiety drives. And I know that anxiety has its place, and I accept that, but I also know that for me, it's made me so I couldn't sleep at night. It was horrible. And anxiety doesn't go away overnight. I would love to say that this program has totally erased it. It has diminished it, where it's much more controllable. Is it gone? Obviously it's not gone. Anxiety has purposes in your life, so it's never really gone. But is it better? Absolutely, it's better. But one thing that, it's something I'm always working on. One piece that I was working on this week, is the anger side of anxiety. And people will say, oh, I don't have an anger side. We all have an anger side. All of us, we're all angry. But the problem is usually I think we're angry at ourselves. And this has just become really clear this week. And this is something I'm going to actually work on this week. And hopefully I'll be able to put out how it came out. But I realized how angry I am at myself. And, but just doing a blank, I forgive myself, isn't gonna work. It's not enough. You can't just say, I forgive you, you're great. Because how do you know what you're forgiving yourself about if you don't work into it? And what I mean is, we're so busy making excuses and finding reasons why things happened that we've stopped accepting why they happened. For instance, I have mentioned I had a terrible first marriage, and I mean, he was a horrible human, and I knew it from the start. I always knew from the moment I met him he was a terrible man. And people ask me, well, why would you marry him if he was such a bad person? I mean, it was like the nightmare of husbands. And so why would you marry him? Why would you do that? And I would have all these excuses. Oh, well, I should have been married because I had kids, and the pressure was on me to be married at 25. And, I always had a lot of reasons. I needed to feel normal. And, I had 1,001 excuses and 1,001 people to blame that I got into a relationship that was so horrible, and it took so many years to get out and took so much from me. I mean, it robbed me of so many years and so much happiness. So I was so busy doing that, and finally, one day I said I need to forgive myself for this relationship. And I realized I didn't understand, what was I forgiving myself for? I was 25. I was, young mentally. Even at 25, I was, a young 25, and I had kids, and I was, in school. It was a lot going on. I had a lot of reasons to not do this. So what exactly am I forgiving myself for? I wasn't the horrible person. I was just me. And I realized I'm mad at myself because I didn't love myself enough to feel like I deserve something better when he came along. I didn't find myself worthy of waiting for a decent man. And this came about because for some reason in my head, I thought, if I had known my husband now was coming, would I have stayed single many more years later, not worrying about a relationship, knowing that the greatest man is coming, that I don't have to settle for this amazing human's coming? I thought, yes, I would. If I had known that, much later I was going to meet someone as amazing as my husband, he was there, and I just had to be patient and wait, I would have waited because he is so spectacular. If I really understood what was coming my way, I would have waited. I would have. And I think most of us, if we really understood, I know impatience is a problem, but if you really understand, if you were given the options, you can have this life with this person who's horrible, or you can wait an additional 15 years for this person who's amazing, I think you would choose to wait for the amazing person and say, yeah, I can wait that 15 years. It's absolutely worth it if you knew all this stuff. So putting that in picture, I knew realistically that someone was out there for me, and I knew that it wasn't that man when I married him, but I married him anyway because I didn't love me. I didn't think I deserved anything better than what I was getting. I felt ashamed for being a single mother. I felt I wasn't beautiful. I felt I was, I should be ashamed for not doing everything the right way. That, I felt I had embarrassed my parents, and this was almost like a penance to, find this man. And so when I finally stopped trying to find excuses on why I married him, and I broke down why I was so mad at myself, I was mad at myself for not loving myself. And when I did that, and I really released that and said, I forgive myself. I give this to you, God, because I'm so angry at myself. I was finally able to let that marriage go and no longer have it hang on me. And it doesn't to this day, although he was a horrible man, and I don't talk about him. People talk about their first marriages or how, they were abused and beaten and money stolen and they did horrible things. And I don't feel like sharing it because I really have let that relationship go. It's gone. That relationship it happened. And besides talking about it here in point of reference, he really is done. I don't talk to him. I don't care. Want if he's married or not married. I'm really happy whatever he needs to be, and it's done. It's over. And so, but if I hadn't found out what I was angry at me about around this relationship, I wouldn't have been able to let it go, because I tried to just let it go. Oh, I released this marriage. And it doesn't work. It's the understanding what you hold against yourself. And that's where, I've talked about this program before. When you're releasing, you start to either get messages, or as you're releasing, you start to understand the fine details of everything. And that's what makes it different than everything else. Like you're trying to get a better job. Like, let's say you're trying to get a promotion. And I always said, you put everything good and everything bad in with whatever you're trying to do. And as you do the good and the bad, you start to open up to different sides of it, and that's why I don't want you to just put in, oh, this job will be a great bonus and it'll be more money and more security and a better lifestyle. You want to say, oh, but it's going to be more work, and I'm scared. I don't trust myself. All these things have to go in together, and those all have to be released together. And you need to get into these fine details, including what part of it you're holding against yourself if you don't get the job. Are you going to be angry at yourself? Why? Why are you angry at yourself? If you are, there's a reason, and you have to figure that out and release those fine little details. They matter. You think they don't matter. You think that, oh, it was just, I'll just release it generically. No, you need to really understand the fine pieces. And that's how you come to this understanding, and you come to kind of a clearance about what your life is about. So anyway, I hope this helped. This is definitely helping me. And like I said, this is something I'm working on because I've just recently discovered all these other areas in my life that I'm actually, sorry, there's a lot of flies right now, angry at myself about. And I'm working now on releasing them. So I hope I can get back to you on how this works. And I hope other people try this and it works for them. And please let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you need any help. And again, I'm okay with people disagreeing with me. That's all what this world is about. But I also hope people just give it a shot. Just try that. I'm not in this for money on this. It's really a program that works. And I want people to just start trying this with me. All right. Until next time, thanks a lot.